Hello everybody. Welcome in to episode 27 of Pixel Yaps. Today, starring myself, Cesire. My normal co-host, Loonaromi, is melting, much like the rest of the EU. So, stay cool out there. So we're giving her the day off so that she can not melt. Um, so yeah, it's just me for now. We do have a special guest segment a little bit later in the podcast. We're gonna have LavaSlug join in to talk about some Next Fest demos that we co-opted together and some honorable mentions that she tried out during Next Fest. But since we have a bit of a different episode, I'm gonna start things a little bit differently. Usually we end things with the upcoming releases, but I'm gonna actually start with the upcoming releases so that we can get that out of the way. And then the rest of the episode is going to be Next Fest. This is the Next Fest special. I have so much to talk to you about. We'll see how it goes. We played so many good demos, you guys. It was such a good Next Fest. And it's interesting because I didn't know that it would be. Just because when I was initially looking through the offerings, I was like, oh, I don't really see a lot. Like I had to really kind of wade through a lot of stuff I wasn't interested in to find stuff that I was. But once I started finding those pearls, then we were in danger. Yeah, there was just a lot. So we have a lot to talk about, but to start off, like I said, let's mention the upcoming games. And actually, now that I think about it, I've been thrown off. Oh no, I did change it. Look at me go. Oh, past Cesare. All right, we only have one page today. People are taking a little bit of time in the summer to not release games, it feels like, which is great for me. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's good for me. Okay, so to start out with our upcoming releases, we have a game that I haven't tried, but I saw it on the little. They have like a new little Steam calendar thing that shows you some games that might not be on your list, which I thought was pretty cool. So Curious Paws is the first game. It's a hidden object game with like just beautiful hand-drawn art. As you can see if you're looking at the screen, like uses like the purples and the greens, so it's got like a really nice color scheme, and it's just, you know, a cute little hidden object game about finding different creatures. And you're like a cat, so you're like catching bugs basically, but through the hidden object game style. So that comes out on July 2nd, and it looks really, really cute. Next up, on July 6th, we've got Cat Mail Co., which was part of Next Fest, actually. I didn't try it on stream, but I did try it with my friends off stream, and it was a lot of fun. The demo is still up if you want to try it out. It's basically just, you know, a post office simulator, but you are cats, and all of the other people are cats, and they're all a little bit odd, and you gotta, like, you know, sort all the mail and get it sent to the right places, and it's just, you know, it's chaotic simulator fun. We liked it. I'm excited to see what the full game will have, because we got through the demo pretty fast. So I'm excited to see like what kind of extra challenges they're gonna add. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Very cute little cat game. You didn't get to choose the color of your cat, which I thought was interesting, but we still all looked cute, so I guess it didn't matter. So yeah, Cat Mail Co., July 6th. Try out the demo today. Play with your friends. Very, very fun. Especially if you like the sim, you know, the job simulators. I can't help it. I'm a sucker for some of them. July 7th, we have Moonlight Peaks coming out, which is really exciting. This one was also part of Next Fest. I did not play the demo, mostly because I saw a bunch of my streamer friends play the demo, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, I'm into it. It's like I don't need to play this right now because I'm gonna play it when it comes out. So It's a really cute little life sim, with the twist being that you're a vampire. And so, like, the things around you aren't quite the normal things. Like, you only go out at night. And it was very, very cute. The housing seemed pretty good. Like, they had a lot of little things that you could put on the ground. They had, like, a little cross stitch game, where you could, like, make little cross stitch things and then put it, in your house as a decoration. So it looks delightful, for those fans of, like, Stardew Valley or games of that nature. I think it'll be another strong entry into that genre. They do still have a demo, so you can try it out if you want. July 9th, and this one was actually specifically on the list for Luna. The game Echoes of Aincrad comes out on July 9th, and this is a Sword Art Online game, and they did have a Next Fest demo, which Loonaromi and LavaSlug both played. And so we might we might spring on LavaSlug later and ask her how she felt about it. But I know they both had fun at least. And I did watch Luna play it actually, and it looked pretty interesting. I was kind of surprised that it was so close to releasing. Not that the demo had any like glaring issues. It just I don't know if they put them in like a different part of the game or something, but things just felt a little off. But either way, the combat looked really fun. And obviously, if you're, a fan of the Sword Art Online universe, another entry into that universe will be fun if they do it right. So definitely check out the demo, see if you like it. And then last but not least, and I've covered it up with my little cup, but it's fine. July 10th, we have Pal World. And I know what you're thinking, isn't that already out? Well, yeah, but it's their 1.0 release. And I feel like it's worth mentioning because every time I've ever mentioned Pal World, I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting until 1.0 before I, try it out again because we played a little bit in the early days. So basically, my excuse is evaporating. And after July 10th, I'll probably be playing some Pal World. No, it's really exciting. They've done a lot with the game. They've added a lot to the game. So I'm pretty hyped to start a new save, a nice fresh start, and just kind of really dive into the actual released game. Because when I played, it was it was in a decent state, but it was early access for sure. So yeah. But yeah, those are the current upcoming Pixel Yaps picks. Obviously, there are a lot of games releasing every day. I could have missed some. I could have forgot some. But it was a little bit of a quieter time in terms of releases on my radar, which was interesting. I think everybody's buckling down after Next Fest and getting their stuff ready. But yeah, make sure you add any of these games that are interesting to you to your wish list. I'll try to remember to post it onto the socials after the podcast. Yeah, it's really weird doing this alone. This is a lot of talking. Okay. Well, I gotta keep the yaps going. So now on to the main event, as we mentioned, which is Steam Next Fest. For listeners who aren't aware of what Steam Next Fest is, it is a festival of upcoming games that Steam puts on, I think, like 3 times a year. And it's just a celebration of everything that's coming out. So you get to try all kinds of demos for all kinds of games. And it's really great for the developers, in my opinion, because they kind of get, a little bit of beta testing and they get to watch people play their demo and see, in real time how people react to their game, which I think is really neat. We had a lot of devs come into the stream, which was super cool. It's always It's always really interesting when they do that. A little bit nerve-wracking because you're like, oh man, oh, I'm playing your game. I hope I like it. But it's always really cool to be able to like ask them questions or just like just see how they react to you reacting to their game, I guess. Uh, and I feel like Next Fest has been a really good avenue for that because it's a really good way for devs to just be like, hey, I'm a dev for this game. You want to try it out? Or we had some devs that just like stayed in the channel and they were just talking to each other about game dev stuff. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. So yeah, all that to say, to me, Next Fest is a very special time, 3 times a year. And it seems to only be getting better in terms of like, I mean, obviously there's still a lot of stuff that comes out that either might not be interesting to you or isn't ready or, just didn't have the effort put in. But for the most part, once you dig in and find this stuff that is interesting to you or this stuff that like sometimes I like to try and find somewhere I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about that. And then that kind of means to me like, yeah, I should probably try it. Because that's what Next Fest is for. Uh so yeah, it's a really cool time. It's as you can tell from my gushing about it, it's one of my favorite times. So we're gonna start talking about what I played. Um there's a lot of ums. Okay, so first off, we played a lot, first of all. But one of these was actually a paid promotion, which was really interesting to be accompanied by a demo. And I ended up absolutely loving it and playing even longer than I committed to. And this one was Cat Secretary, so you can see it over there on the side, on the empty chair side. It's exactly what it sounds like. You are a cat, and you get a job as a secretary at this ridiculous company that's mostly run by like robots. And I mean, there's people there, but like they're like all slowly getting phased out, and it's just very satirical and it's very cute. Like your cat is adorable. You got the little wiggly butt when you're sneaking. There's a mouse in a business suit. And actually, here I'll show you what I mean. Because it really is so cute. Like, look at this cat. If you're watching, if you're not, it's if any of you played Little Kitty Big City, it felt a lot like that in the beginning. Because in the beginning you're like making your way to the company to go apply for the job. And so like it really did feel like Little Kitty Big City. But I felt like once you got into the office and started I guess the real game, it quickly distinguished itself from Little Kitty Big City into its own game. Because inside the office, like it's a day-night cycle, and during the day you can pick a couple of tasks to do, and you basically have a couple choices before you run out of energy or time or whatever. So each day you do your little tasks, and you earn basically like company money to upgrade things to make the humans who still work there happier. And so it's just really, really cute and silly. But then at night, it kind of changes gears again. And it becomes more of a like stealth, or I mean, you could choose not to stealth, but yeah, you kind of have to like sneak around these robots that are out there at night that will like kick you out or whatever, or try to kill you. It's fine. And so like you have to go through and like you're looking for company secrets, and you're looking to find different ways to basically up your security level so you can keep moving up in the company. And I just loved it. Like I loved the characters that we met and the humor of it, and I liked playing it. It was just really fun all around. So that one was definitely one of my top recommendations. And I can't wait to play the full game because the demo was really long. Like I said, we played for like 2 hours. It was crazy. Um, but yeah, that one's Cat Secretary. We also had um well, we had another game that featured an animal companion that we played a little bit later in the week. And this one was called Signy and Mino Against All Gods. And this one actually came to me from the Steam news page for like Soda Dungeon because I played that game and it's one of the developers and I saw it and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing." It's a little, RPG game where you you and your companion, which is a cute little doggo, you like fight these different, these entities together as you're trying to well, at first you're trying to like figure out how to turn the power back on because the power keeps going off at your guys' place. And it was just I think it was really interesting because of the way that the combat worked. Because it was all based on comboing with your partner. So you would do your like first attack or whatever, and then if you made sure to hit the button at the right time, your dog would do a chain attack, which would allow you to use your stronger attack to like knock an enemy back into the other enemies. It was just really, really neat the way that it chained together and they played off of each other to make you stronger and stronger. And like if you didn't do it, well basically you would die because everything would kill you. Um but yeah, that one really caught my attention and I wasn't fully expecting it to. And to be fair, I really loved the art style as well. Um so they kind of had me there. Like it was almost when you got into combat, it was almost like Paper Mario style combat, which I'm nostalgic about. So, yeah, and then obviously the dog. I mean, I'm not going to lie, the dog is what drew us in. And then there was like a little granny character and then there was just some really silly jokes and I was sold. You know, but I'm an easy sell. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, especially if you like those like turn-based combat that has the more active combat features. Uh it definitely intrigued me. And I'm interested to see how the combos evolve as you level up because they're pretty basic at first, but I imagine you could probably chain together different ones to make it a really dynamic game. But yeah, that was Signy and Mino Against All Gods. Loved that one. We're just gonna keep powering through these. Um, it really is weird not having Luna here. All right, so next up we had. Let's see, which one do we want to talk about next? Let's talk about Bulbo's belief system. Um, we saw this one pop up during, the Summer Games Fest festivities, all of the showcases that we were watching. And I was instantly drawn to it because it's a strange little game, first off. It's all just, very hand drawn. And actually, one of the devs mentioned, because they came into chat, they said they drew it on their phone. So this is like, it's a nice little hand drawn game, but it had such an interesting concept. It basically you're a little character named Bulbo and you don't really believe in anything. You're kind of like a blank slate. But when you talk to other NPCs, you take on their beliefs. So like there's an NPC, called Newton that teaches you about gravity, and then you can go down or, fall into a pit and die. Whereas before, when you didn't believe in gravity, you would just walk over the pit. It's like a really interesting mechanics. And so the puzzle is to basically choose which beliefs to use, which beliefs to ditch, so that you can get to the objective, which is like a little flag. I really liked it. I I thought it was just very very unique, and it had a kind of like a narrative throughout that was just it's on the screen. And it's basically like the narrator talking to Bulbo, and it's just, I don't know. I thought it was just very unique, very charming, and I love all of the silly little characters. They're so good. I I was pretty sure that I was gonna like it, but after playing the demo, I was just kind of blown away a little bit just by how different it was. And I don't know, there's probably other games out there, but I've never played one like it. So it was unique to me. That's Bulbo's belief system. And you can always check the Steam pages for these games because a lot of Next Fest games keep their demo up after. So you can still try it out even though Next Fest is over. Uh yeah. All right. Moving on. I see you all in chat. Sorry, I can't really chat to you today. It's just little old me for a while. Uh, Next up, we tried out Dupery. Now this is a game I already had tried because it is by the Gilded Rune Games studio who made oh, my brain just died. The Alchemy game. Oh, My Party Needs an Alchemist. So the game is called My Party Needs an Alchemist. We played it a while back and I loved it. It was just so cute. And the devs would like come and hang out. And they're just lovely, lovely people. And so they've been working on this deck builder game. Like, well, not deck builder. I say deck builder because I see the cards. It's not a deck builder. It's a social deduction game. A solo social deduction game. And it really works. Like I mentioned, I had tried the demo before, but they had added a lot since the last time that I played, and we played the demo for a good chunk of time, even though I thought we would only play a little bit. So basically, the concept is fairly simple. You're a detective who has been hired back to help out the police station basically because they're getting overwhelmed with stuff. And to start out, you go through some of your old cases and just go through basically your reasoning again as to why you chose who you did. And so each level or each case has different kinds of innocent people, different kinds of meddlers, underlings, or traitors, depending on the case. There's always innocent people, and there's usually almost always underlings. And so you have to determine who is evil, like who's lying, and who the bad guys are. But it gets more complex as you go on because many of the characters play off of each other, and so it starts getting like really chaotic to where a bunch of them are lying and you have to try and figure out who's lying, and you only have so much time because each action takes time. Luckily, they have like all of the stuff, all of the information is available to you, so it's easy to check things, but like it can be really easy to like lull yourself into a false sense of security and blow the run. But yeah, I mean, it's coming along really, really nicely. And they have really neat little features where you can draw on the screen with like a little inkwell pen, or you can make yourself a crime board, with the thread and the thumbtacks, so that you can logic out things without having to use an outside pen and paper, which I think is very, very neat. and not something that a lot of these games do. So, yeah, that's Dupery. Check it out if you like a social deduction game, but you don't like lying to your friends. um, all right. We're getting through these at a nice pace. We got 2 more on this page. And we're going to go ahead and start with neighborhood video, which I'm burying a little over here. This one, so as I mentioned, there are games I usually choose that I know that I will like. And there are games that I'm not sure of that I throw into the mix. Neighborhood video was a pretty safe bet. But I was so happy that I tried the demo because it was even more silly than I could have hoped for. And I absolutely loved it. Neighborhood video is a, video store simulator game. You get a job at the video store, but you're actually there trying to solve a crime. I guess I just really like detective games. But yeah, you're there trying to solve, a missing person, basically. So the last person who worked there has just gone missing. Nobody knows where they're at, and the last place that they were seen was here at the video store. And so as you immediately get in there, stuff is a little weird. This is a very weird company. And they have an adorable little cow mascot called Seymour. But then it plays like your standard. It's not, I wouldn't say point and click, but it's close to a point and click. Detective game. You go through and like look through all of the computer files and look around the area and look for little pieces of paper and stuff, and you're just trying to solve the mystery of where this missing girl is and also how to get out of the building because you're just locked in there randomly. It's a very strange little game, but all of the vibes were on point. Like they set out to make kind of like those 90s video store vibes, and they nailed it. And I really enjoyed the music that was happening throughout it. And I found the puzzles to be really engaging. I don't know. I thought it was very, very charming. And I'm excited to play more of it. And this is another one where the devs did come hang out. And the poor things, because I was struggling with a puzzle. And it was so obvious to the people who noticed the solution to the puzzle, and they're just watching me walk past it just probably 13 times. Eventually one of my community had to take pity on me. But yeah, it had these hilarious pun videotapes just all over, and I imagine once it's fully released there'll probably be a little bit more and parody posters, and it was very much crafted with love and silliness, and I appreciated that. So that one was definitely at near the top of my list. We played it way longer than I intended to. Yeah, that's neighborhood video. All right. And last on this page, yeah, this page. Don't worry, I didn't go too crazy. We have Welcome to Enfield. And this was one of those that I was pretty sure that I would like because it was kind of right up my alley, being both weird and Stardew Valley-esque. But this is basically, a little life sim. You move back home. But things are not quite the way that you left them. They are a little bit, they're just a little bit weird. There's eldritch beings taking over, kind of the normal things that happen. But I found the art style really charming. I mean, charming for the style of game it's supposed to be. It's got those sharp angles and those, not everybody's gorgeous. We got some real people up in here. But yeah, so I found I found it interesting to just like go through and try talking to the different NPCs and all of the weird stuff that was going on, because obviously the people who live there are like, well, yeah, this is weird, but you know, like this is where we live, so we're kind of used to it. So like at one point you like walk into somebody's house and just start talking to this dude, and he's like, "Hey, you should help me get rid of this tentacle that's like, you know, poking through the wall here." He's like, it would be like the nice thing to do. And it was just so bizarre. But it was my kind of bizarre, if you know what I mean. So I really, really enjoyed it. And I was kind of sad when the demo ended. So I'm interested to see where that one goes. Because I like a little eldritch horror in my little life sim game. It seems to be more and more of a theme that we're getting like these kind of cozy horror games, and I'm here for it. It's a genre blend that I 100% support. But yeah, if that sounds like something you're interested in, go check out Welcome to Elderfield. I believe the demo is still up. You can see if you like the humor, if you like the weirdness. I did. All right. Last up on this. Actually, no, that was the last one on this page. That's right. Yay! Look at us go. Okay. Let me take a drink of water here. All right, hydrate. Okay, this is the last little page. And two of these we'll be having our special guest on to talk with about. So we're going to start with another very, very cute one, which is Wilderings, The Lost Spring. I loved this demo. I didn't play any demos on stream that I didn't like really love. I did play a few off stream that I didn't vibe with. But on stream, I pretty much vibed with every single demo that I played. But this one was also is kind of like anticipated by me when I saw that it was by the developers who made Endlings, Extinction is Forever, if any of you have heard of that game. That game was beautiful, but it was absolutely and utterly heart-wrenching. It was such pain, but I loved it. So this is the same developers. They've come back with kind of like another game in the series, as you can see with their like naming convention, Endlings, Wilderlings. But this one is kind of at least in the demo, this one is more hopeful. Like you come into a world that's definitely not doing too hot, but you have the power to help. So you basically live on this cute little airship with these adorable creatures who come down onto the surface and fight with you so that you can like go reclaim all of these little fountains and restore the land. So it was kind of like, all right, maybe we destroyed things, but now we get a chance to fix them. So there's definitely more hopeful vibes. And it is absolutely adorable. The art style is so cute. The characters that I've met so far are interesting, and I really, really enjoyed the combat, even if I was very bad at dodging, which is not usually the case, but I was horrible at it. um I think it's going to be another good entry for these developers, and I'm glad that they had a demo so that I could check it out a little bit and see how it played. 'Cause I really enjoyed the gameplay loop, and I can't wait to learn more about the world building. Yeah, so if you're watching, you can see my little companions. I had like a little frog guy that could fly, and I had a little bee. It was very much a Cesire game, and I'm glad it was a part of Next Fest. So yeah, I do think that they also still have their demo up. You can always go check. It's Wilderlings, The Lost Spring. Super, super cute. All right. Next up. Do 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 do. I'm starting to struggle more. Okay, let's grab the, I guess, spoopier one of the weirder ones that we played. So we tried out Penguin Colony. We this was another one that we saw during the summer showcases. I don't know. It was actually in a couple of them. And it wasn't until like the fourth one that we were entirely sure that we got to be the penguin. So, yeah, you get to be the penguin in this game. And being a penguin in this game was honestly incredibly delightful. I loved sliding around on my little penguin belly and squawking at the other penguins and just waddling around. It was very fun. However, if you're like, ooh, I want to play Penguin Simulator, I have to warn you that while you are an adorable penguin and it is very satisfying to be said penguin, the things happening around you are not adorable. Basically, you know, you're just kind of living your little penguin life, but around you there's a bunch of humans, including some Nazis, that are trying to like wake an eldritch being or something. And so like they're like going crazy and there's just a lot of death around you. And I imagine there's going to be weird monsters as you get further in. So it's not for everyone. However, I would say if you want to slide around on your belly as a little penguin for a while and just waddle around, you could try the demo and just play without ever going to the humans. Just run around and be a penguin for a while. Just saying. No, I really, really liked it. As I've mentioned already multiple times during the podcast, I like weird games. I like weird movies. So it was the right kind of weird for me, but it's definitely not for everyone. But I feel like they're building up to something very interesting, and it really is interesting that they just had us be a penguin while all this stuff is going on around us. Like, I thought that was an interesting choice, and I applaud them for it because, again, it is very fun to run around as a penguin. Incredibly delightful. So yeah, that's Penguin Colony. Check it out if you don't mind a little eldritch horror, a little Lovecraftian, you know, ickiness. I liked it. uh, but again, I can't in good conscience recommend it to everyone just because that's a lot. Oh, wrong one. Okay. My Stream Deck wasn't cooperating with me today, so I couldn't update it. All right. Next up, a little palette cleanser. Something that I think all of the cozy gamers can appreciate. I tried out an adorable game called Cryptid Cam. This one was definitely a Pokemon Snap inspired game in like the best way. It's a small game, so it'll definitely even at release it'll be a short game. So for my overwhelmed gamers, this one might be right up your alley. And it's basically, like I said, it's a little Pokemon Snap style game. You go out into this magical little forest, and it is full of cryptids. I say full. There's some cryptids there. They're very, very cute. You've got like a little jackalope. I know eventually there's gonna be an extra, there's gonna be Mothman. And you basically just go take pictures of them, and try and get the best picture, because at the end of your run, It's, you get judged by, it's not Professor Oak, obviously. He's like a little shadow guy. You get judged by him based on your photos and some of the criteria. And it's just really, really cute. Um, but as a person who really liked Pokemon Snap, it definitely hit those nostalgia buttons. And I love cryptids. I'm glad that that's kind of something that's gotten really popular because they're just really fun subject matter. And they chose some really, really cute ones to display in the game. Like there's a little frog guy and a little snake. Uh, I got some robed shadow lady to throw a peace sign at me. So there's like a couple of different things that you can kind of get them to do or get them together. But yeah, it was just a really short and sweet kind of shout out to those games of old. And I felt like it was really well done. And they also had some hilarious little books on their bookshelf. But yeah, I think their demo is still up as well. And you can go check it out and take some pictures of cryptids. Fill out your cryptidnomicon and see if you vibe with it. Very, very cozy. I really liked it. All right, last up before we bring on our special guest, we have another weird one for you. Oh, I wasn't showing you guys the video. See, I failed you. I failed you. Hold on. For the folks watching, look at that jackalope. Oh, wrong. I went too far. Oh, there was like the perfect one. Yeah, so like he's going through the pictures and whatnot. Sorry, that was supposed to be going while I was talking about it. We started out so strong. And now it's just, I've started to struggle. But we have been yapping for almost an hour, so I'm going to take another drink of water. Okay. Ooh. All right. Yeah, so that was Cryptid Cam. Very, very cute. And as I said, I'm pretty sure the demo is still up, so you can go check it out. Try it. See if you vibe with it. Very, very cozy. And then we have now this name is a mouthful. Prepare yourselves. This is another weird one. Like I said, I like a weird game. It's something I enjoy. We checked out Janet de Mornay is a slumlord and a witch. That entire thing is the name. It's beautiful. This game was very Australian. You could just tell right off the bat it was beautiful. This is a very strange game where it seems as though you've ended up renting from a lady who rents houses inside people's minds. So, like the Mind Palace concept? Basically, she's managed to turn that into real estate somehow. And she's just like this ridiculous former actress who is really good at paper mache. So, like, a lot of the set is paper mache. And your character, like, our characters are a little, they're very, very normal characters. And so far the gameplay was like some little puzzles. Like at one point I had to like put some mannequins back together to match the shadow on the wall. And it had it just kind of different little puzzle styles, but it was mostly just a narrative about this lady, Janet de Mornay, and you trying to potentially get out of your house. Like at one point you get stuck in your own room because your door disappears. Or no, wait, sorry, it doesn't disappear. It just doesn't open. It was so weird. But I really liked it. Like, it was one of those like weird things where you can't stop watching, or in this case you just can't stop playing because you're just like, well, surely I'm going to get an explanation for this. Do I think explanations are forthcoming, probably not so much. Do I want to keep playing it to see how much weirder it gets? Yeah, I really do. They they basically like left us on a weird on a cliffhanger. And so I don't know. I was very enamored with it. It was it was like something that you would have seen on Adult Swim of old, you know. So yeah, that's Janet de Mornay is a slumlord and a witch. If you like Australian humor or you like just very surreal artsy games, you should definitely check out the demo if it's still up and see if you vibe with it. Because it's not going to be a game for everyone, but I think it's definitely going to find its people. I'm one of its people. Me. I'm the people. Okay, so that was it for my big presentation. I had a couple of honorable mentions, including Seeding the Wasteland, which was like a roguelike plant game. That it was very interesting the way that they did their gameplay loop. And then my brain died and I don't remember my honorable mentions. So we're gonna scuff it up a little bit. Because this is the first time that Pixel Yaps has ever had a guest. And it was, like I mentioned, our poor co-host is melting. And so it's pretty short notice. So you're going to have to just bear with me a little bit. The two games on the previous screen, we're bringing LavaSlug in as a guest star to talk about them because she played them with me. And that way, it's not just me for the whole podcast yapping. Yeah, so just bear with me for a minute while I get her in here. Because as I said, we haven't had a guest before. It's something we've wanted to do, but we haven't really got around to it until now. So let's see. I'm gonna unmute and undeafen. Hi, LavaSlug. You're still muted. This is our good friend LavaSlug joining me, so I don't have to yap so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you for having us. So excited to be here. I'm your first guest?
You are the first guest. Well, you always probably were. It was either going to be you or Bella, like if we're being honest. Oh. So, yeah,
Makes
you're the
sense.
first guest because we just haven't.
Makes sense.
We haven't set it up for one yet, so
yeah,
it's scuffed.
Yep. Well, if you don't know me, and you're listening or watching on YouTube, my name is LavaSlug. I'm a fairy VTuber, commissioning fantasy artist, and cozy variety streamer. I like to play cozy games, life sims, farm sims, job sims, survival craft games, and I like to play MMOs like Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 2, Palia, and soon Loftia, which we'll be playing together a lot, I bet.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But yeah, I'm an ArenaNet partner, Loftia partner, Voyagers of Nira creator, and I really like bringing new games to people's wish lists. Yep.
Yep, and Lava is a fellow Next Fest enjoyer, enjoys it just as much and even maybe a little bit crazier than me because she clips in those offline hours.
I do. Guys, I played like 70 games over the course of the week. I locked in for this Next Fest, guys. It was stacked and I was being picky. Crazy.
Yeah. So to start with, we will just we'll talk about the ones that we played together, and then we're gonna get some honorable mentions from Lava because she played a lot of ones that I did not play. So you'll get some unique insight. Which do you want to talk cats or pirates? What do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about cats.
Okay. So we checked out Meowgic together. If you haven't heard of that one, it's very similar to Yap Yap, where you have to use your voice activated, words to cast spells. Only this time, we get to be cats. Yeah, we get
Yep.
to be cats.
We got to be cats.
Yeah, we also got a magical girl wand, which was very important to the aesthetic.
Yeah, there seemed to be a lot of customization with this one too. Like you could change the color of your robe, and there were like colorways or like color slots or whatever. So you could change the colors of your robes and the color of your cat, and then you could switch your wand with one of the spells.
Yeah, and it was an interesting little game because it didn't it gave you some spells at the beginning, but you kind of had to like get the scrolls to learn more.
Yeah.
And so at first your arsenal's pretty small. You're just kind of like fireballing everything. But we ended up getting
Me?
the scrolls.
I would never.
Now, no, it is a voice activated game. So if any listeners have played a voice activated game, they're not perfect. They probably will never be perfect because we're not perfect. So did I shoot lava in the face with a fireball multiple times accidentally? Yes. I don't know how she avoided to shoot me as much as I shot her.
Yes.
Oh my god, that expression. That was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of happens sometimes. It was between a couple of spells where it was, what was it, fly and fireball. And the thing that worked with fireball, and you learn this pretty quick in the game, so it's not like spoilery or anything like that, but it'll pick up fire for fireball. You don't have to say fireball the whole thing. So sometimes it would pick up fire instead of fly, and you're trying to get your game buddies to fly with your wand, and then you're pointing your wand at them and saying fly, and then a fireball comes out and hits them in the face. Yeah.
Yep.
At least they fly it. At least they're actually flying, because it kind of knocks you back a little bit.
It's true. And the best part was that then your little tail was on fire and there was nothing you could do about it but just like run around
in panic?
Yeah.
Like I normally do? Yes.
Yes. I thought it was interesting because, well, as Guild Wars 2 players, we're very familiar with the world of jumping puzzles. And it really was just kind of like a big jumping puzzle with voice activated magic and cats at the end of the day.
Right.
And I was here for it.
Right. Yeah. And we had a little trouble figuring out like how to start the level, but that was like user error.
Yeah.
So once
Well,
you actually had to start the level, you actually had to get into the balloon to go to the place, and you had to start up the balloon with a spell too, which I thought was pretty cool.
yeah, like the entire world kind of it like the spells were definitely part of it, and even in the tutorial area, like cause you could find some scrolls. There was one that mentioned not putting a frog in the cauldron, so of course I did because I had to know what happened, and it basically nearly killed us, which was hilarious. And to res each other, you have to meow at them. Which
Oh yeah, that was so cute. I'm actually gonna actually look at you instead of away from you. Hold on. There we go.
We're flipping.
Yep, I'm flipping around. Bam. My goodness.
Yeah, so 3
But
meows
that
to
was
res
so
and
cute.
rainbows.
We also played with Viking Care Bear, who's in the chat right now during our live recording of the podcast, and that was super fun.
Yes, it was. It worked really well with 3 people. I think it's up to 4 people, and I imagine it would continue to work pretty well. So, yeah, it was solid. I think my one fear, and this is from playing Yap Yap, is that it will be very short in the end.
Yeah.
But I do think there's ways for them to add playability or like even just like Steam workshops so people can make levels. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. I also have that fear where like the novelty might wear off. And like the actual gameplay might be a little too simplistic.
Mhm. Which
But I
isn't
think if they
always bad.
cook a little longer, yeah, it's not always bad to have a simple game. But I think that if they cook a little longer, then people will find a lot more longevity with the game and keep wanting to go back to it.
Yeah, yeah. And and at the end of the day, as long as they're like, "Hey, this is a short game," and just like let people know, then it's like okay. But I do think, like you said, with a little bit more cooking and maybe just some other ways to interact with the world, they could definitely have I don't, for lack of a better term, a friend game. I'm not saying it. Yeah, they could
I
have
said
a,
it.
they could have like a repo or something like that on their hands. But not every game needs to be like that. So we'll see what they decide, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Did you have any
That was
other
magic.
thoughts on Meowgic?
Um, for my personal taste, I think if they cook a little bit more, I would be interested in it. Yeah.
All right, that is
I think it
fair.
needs work before it's ready for release.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely needs some of that. Although I will say that their voice activation, while it was catching some of the wrong words, it
Mhm.
did work pretty good in comparison to, as I said, like when I played Yap Yap when it was in demo mode. So they have that going for them. All right.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that that's pretty fair.
yeah, it was a mess. Um, Next up, we tried out a. So this was kind of one of those where we were like, okay, this could be fun, but also, is it just a gimmicky game? It's called Last Pirates Die Together. It
Yeah.
it's one of those where you're just kind of like, I don't know how this game's gonna work out. And so it's good that it
Mhm.
had a demo because I'm gonna tell y'all, it was delightful.
It was so fun.
We yeah, we played like 4 hours in it, thinking we would only play, like yeah, maybe one or
An
two.
hour.
Yeah, 4 hours we played this
Yes.
demo.
Yep.
uh,
And I think we took like a couple of breaks in there, but like our breaks were not that long. We were like, we gotta lock in. Like
so for a little context, this is another kind of extraction style game where you go in, you gather loot, and you bring it back to an entity. This
Mhm.
time we're like really strange little bean people. We look really silly in the best way. And we've also got these long rubbery arms. Um
Noodly arms.
yeah, long noodly arms which you can slap things with, including a giant, they had like a giant butt in the lobby or like the main first
Mhm.
area.
Yeah.
And
Slap
they were
that
doing
booty.
like they were doing like a slap the booty event.
Mhm.
It was
Yep.
ridiculous.
They had a big booty that was just a booty. And I don't know if you have any like footage of it, but they had an event going where the whole community would work together to get 10 million booty slaps, and we met it.
We met
We
the
met
goal.
it. We met it, guys.
I wonder if we met
We
it faster.
understood. We understood the assignment, and we did it. It's pretty much
Yeah.
like Repo, but with pirates. But at the same time, I think it really does like carve out its own niche in the genre.
Yeah, yeah. Like you can definitely see, and I mean, Repo just being one of the more popular ones in the genre. Like you
Mhm,
can see
yeah.
that kind of like the way that you gather the loot and the way that you bring it back and the way that you interact with the world. But as you said, like it quickly distinguishes itself from Repo by being, I mean, it's just as silly, but it's not as I feel like it's just more tongue in cheek almost. Like they're just not taking themselves seriously at all.
Right, yeah.
Um,
It's a lot, it's like I think it's like a little easier than Repo even. And Repo is pretty like beginner to the genre friendly, I think.
mhm.
So, yeah, this
Yeah,
one's even more.
and so we ran into, we saw a couple different enemies in the demo, including, a floating pirate head similar to the Repo head. Although honestly, I thought the Repo head was horrible, but this pirate, when he's like down on the ground trying to bite you, he wins. He's the worst. I hated every second of that.
One shot. He doesn't take
uh,
a nibble, he takes a chunk.
Yeah, he takes your butt basically. And that was the
Yeah.
other interesting thing with the game. So it's similar to Repo, in Repo you die, you lose your head. Well, in Last Pirates Die Together, you basically become separated from your butt. And if you can crawl
Mhm.
back to it, you can reconnect yourself and that brings you back to life, which is
Full
hilarious.
life.
Whole life. It is so funny. However, your butt
Yeah.
has durability.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
You
so
get 2
eventually,
chances.
yeah, it just disappears. And it was just, I don't know, like there's a lot of elements where you're like, man, this was probably going to be dumb, but it worked. It really just did.
It was such
And
a rewarding game loop, I think.
mhm.
Oh, between the chapters, between the runs, I thought it was really interesting once you collect like all your booty, you put it in the boat. And then if you have extra, just like in Repo, then you can spend it on stuff in between the runs. And the way it was set up, it was like a card table, and you're sitting around the card table with your buddies, and you get to pick out what you want to buy. And I thought that was so cute. I thought it was a
Yeah.
cool way to do it.
Yeah, I liked that too, and I liked the fact that you could like actually like fling cards into people's like baskets and just be a little bit of a
Yeah.
menace.
Yes, yes. They really played into like the chaotic part of like these friend S games.
And we discovered what I think was a bug, but I honestly kind of hope that they keep it. At one point I figured out that if you stood in the cauldron, which is one of the items you could use to carry your loot, if you stood in it and then moved, you would just fly. Like you would just start gliding
Oh
up into
yeah.
the sky. And it took stamina, so it wasn't OP. Like I
Yeah.
really feel like they could keep it in the game.
Yeah, I hope it
Uh,
becomes a feature.
I was laughing so hard when I discovered it. And then they
Yup.
had another bug with the cauldron. The cauldron is special. Um, where like if you flipped it over and then walked with it, it would launch you into space. I think Lava died. Didn't you die?
Um I don't I don't remember if I died or not, but it was crazy. I went flying.
Yeah. It just sends you to space. And so this is just I don't know, like Lava said, the gameplay loop felt rewarding. We did kind of break the lobby at one point, and so the enemies weren't attacking us,
Oh,
which
yeah,
was very
yeah,
chill.
yeah.
We were collecting so much treasure. But I think, getting those bugs ironed out, and I think they've got a pretty a pretty good game on their hands.
Yeah,
I
I think it's
do
really close.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be one of those that's definitely better with friends. And somebody in chat was mentioning
Mhm.
that they did try it solo and it was way more fun with friends. So that is something to keep in
Yeah.
mind. Um,
Definitely doable solo, though.
yeah, yeah. Like Lava said, it's on the easier side, at least for now, than like
Yeah.
Repo. It doesn't quite ramp up the way that Repo does. Like it did introduce new enemies, but we'll see
I
how
think
they do it
maybe the
later.
later chapters might get a little harder. It just depends
Hmm.
because we only played, like, what, like 3 chapters, so and we didn't even finish them, so Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think if they work a little bit on balancing for 4 players versus 3 players, because it was you, me, Viking Care Bear, and Jormbles, who's in the chat right now. Hi, Jormbles. Who, joined us later. Once Jormbles was added into the mix, we were getting so much booty that it was a little too much, I think.
Yeah, I almost wonder if that's when we broke the lobby, to be honest.
Oh, maybe it was.
Because basically, like just to paint the picture for you all, like we were so the in the third chapter, there's like this crazy stairway with like 3 or 4 floors, and we were just pulling loot out of these rooms to the point like we had to try and bring the cart up the stairs because it was just getting impossible to get all this loot out of there. It
Yeah.
didn't feel like it was meant to be that way, but I do think part of the problem was because we weren't being attacked by the enemies. So, like in the course of
Mm,
these games, the enemies destroy a lot of loot, right?
mm.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it was a lot of treasure. You're right.
Well, they actually don't destroy loot in this
Oh,
game.
did they not?
When you break down
Oh,
when you
right.
break down loot, it becomes coins. It becomes
Yeah.
like medallions.
Yeah, so it becomes worth a lot less, but it doesn't become worthless.
Yeah.
English.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we tried this one together because I think that was a good kind of showcase, obviously, of the pitfalls because of the bugs that we had, and just
Mhm.
the fact that it was fun enough that we kept going even though we had to restart the
Right.
lobby and whatnot. Like that's always a good
Yeah.
testament to it. And just, I swear, the noodle arms help. They're so dumb.
And, like, when you get, bit or when you get, like, beat up or something, your teeth fall out, and your teeth are worth money too.
Yes, which is also
And you have, like,
hilarious.
1 golden tooth, and it's worth more than the rest. A lot of love and thought has been put into this game, and I'm really excited for it to come out.
Yeah, I think I
Gotta
think
get
they'll
Luna in
find
on
their
this one.
audience for sure.
Yeah.
We did try another game. We didn't get to try it very much. We tried out Blue Ridge Hunting.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. Blue Ridge hunting.
we were
Yup.
honestly incredibly bummed that we couldn't get it to work out because we were getting into the what is Appalachian? Which one is it?
Appalachian.
Appalachian. There we go. We were getting into the accent and we were pumping
That's right.
ourselves up to go out and like confront some monsters, but chat kept breaking and it kind of needs in-game chat.
Yeah, the voice chat and like pretty much everything else and the audio and yeah, it was really broken.
Yeah, like
Unplayable.
I don't know if anybody in the audience was able to play with friends and maybe had a better experience or what, but like we could not play and it was a real bummer because
Mhm.
it did feel like it had something going for it from like the art
Mhm.
style and the lore that they were putting into it. Um
Yeah, I love the setting cuz I live here.
yeah,
I've been in Blue Ridge since 2012. I'm a transplant. That's right.
that's right. So yeah, so we were very excited, especially to be playing it with lava because of that, just because of the meme ability. So
There
hopefully,
was Andy Griffith playing in the bar.
yeah,
It was great.
yes, like it really did have like that charm, and like you could tell, that it could be something special. So hopefully they can get it. Hopefully they can get it in a better state because it doesn't. I don't tend to play those kind of games alone because while I do like a horror game, the games that are meant to be played with friends are just too scary to play alone.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, so like I mean
And
I've
I
never
am not a horror gamer, and I
no
was really scared, but uh we only got out and about one time, and that did not last very long because we were
No,
still trying to get it to work.
yeah, because like we got out there and then one of our parts, so Viking Care Bear, his mic cut out. Just like we could not hear him. We could hear each other, could not hear him. And so we're sitting there talking to him, trying to get it to work, and then we got attacked by like a werewolf or something.
Hmm.
And we couldn't figure out how to load the gun because it wasn't loading, even though we had the ammo. It was just, I think we were having server issues at the end of the day, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
once it works, I think it's gonna be really fun.
yeah, and you know, we might be able to do a supplemental where I do get to try the game and let you guys know what we think about it. But we gave it a good college try.
That's right. We tried so hard.
We
Bless their
tried.
hearts.
Uh okay. So those are the ones that we managed to co-op together. They were solid,
Yay.
very very fun. Especially the two that we talked about the most. Lava Slug, do you want to mention some honorable mentions from Next Fest?
Yeah, so I also played Next Fest all week long on my channel, and I did a tier list at the end, and I added a new tier called Hidden Gem of Next Fest, and I wanted to shout this one out because I honestly think you guys will really like it if you haven't seen anything about it before. It's called Fading Echo. And this one is like an action adventure, third person, like RPG. It's kind of like it's kind of sci-fi fantasy, like futuristic fantasy type of game where you are this girl who gains these elemental water powers from your mom partway through, and then you're like go you like go into this new world, and you fight enemies with different power, like elemental powers you can add to your water powers, and it's just really really fun. I was actually really pleasantly surprised. There's voice acting in it. It ran really really smooth. The only thing is they need to optimize the cutscenes, but other than that, it was beautiful, and I was blown away. I actually got an email from the devs, and I hadn't even heard of it, and they're like, "Hey, you want to try our demo?" I'm like, okay. Hell, I'm a little bit full of games right now, but I'll try." So I fit it into my schedule, and I fell in love with it. It was really, really good.
Interesting. I don't even know if that one came across my radar, so I'm gonna have to check that out after
Yeah, I think you'll
stream.
definitely like it. Yes, yes, it still has a demo, or yeah, it still has the demo up. So I think a lot of these still have the demo up. Like Last Pirates Die Together still has the demo up. Meowgic still has the demo up. Yeah.
Which is good because I mean, the way I see it, it's a good way to get some good bug testing on a part of your game and just to get the word out there and especially when it comes to multiplayer games, I appreciate them having demos because it's hard to convince all your friends to buy a game without
Right.
playing it, you know?
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
really good. I also wanted to mention one other one too. Um, this one is called Screenbound, and I'm sure y'all have seen coverage of it through Cesire's channel while she was looking at all of the showcases and stuff. It's Screenbound, and it mixes like Game Boy-esque 2D, like, or not 2D, but like 8-bit gameplay with 3D gameplay at the same time. And it's crazy, but it works. And I was having so much fun playing it. It's like a platformer game, so kind of like a play on Mario.
Mhm.
And I just really I want everybody to list that game because is gonna be good. And I'm
Yeah,
not really a platformer gamer either. Like I kind of avoid those because I'm not very good with the depth perception in
fair.
real life or in game life. So I
mood.
usually avoid them, but I really wanted to try this one, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, I actually tried that one. I didn't try it on stream. That was one of the ones I tried on my own time because I've been interested in it ever since they announced it. Gosh, did they? I think maybe a year ago was the first time they announced it. I don't know. And I agree. It did work. I do think to keep things either it's going to need to be a little bit shorter or they're going to need to add more ways for the two worlds to interact. But as far as like the uniqueness of it, I was just like, yeah, this is really really cool cuz like there were some things you could only see if you were looking at the little Game Boy screen, for example. And but they were in the
Mhm.
real world. You just couldn't see them. So it was like this really
Mhm.
interesting mix. Now, I will say it definitely I don't know if there's much that they can do to make it work for people who are motion sick prone.
True, yeah.
There is a little bit of like there can be some a little bit of discomfort when you're like looking at the screen and then walking and looking at the other screen. Like it can get a little bit much, but ultimately I agree. I think it worked and it was really fun and just I it's just different from what a lot of people are trying to do.
Mhm. Right.
And it was really pretty as well.
It was really pretty.
It was very pretty, and it had it does have an interesting story. It seems like you're kind of trying to like
Mhm.
find your mom who has
Mhm.
made
Yeah,
this
she's
thing.
screenbound.
Yeah, exactly. That's the name of the game.
My gosh, she said it. She said
She
the
said
thing.
it. Yeah, so I agree. That was I'm glad that you brought it up because I
Mhm.
had so many to talk about that I just couldn't get them all on the list. So yay.
I know, right? I know, right?
uh,
So many games, so little time.
all right. Did you want to round it out with a third, or are you good?
Um,
That is entirely up to you.
well, I know we have an honorable mention that Luna wanted to talk about, but before we get to that, I think she would also want to mention Milky Delivery.
Ah, yes, yes. Good one. Good one.
Yeah, Milky Delivery is like a side-scrolling like delivery game where just like it sounds, you deliver milk from your friend Cal. You move out to the country with your cow friend and you deliver milk to your neighbors and you learn about like the history of the area and kind of build up the town and explore different they're going to have I think like 3 different or 4 different biomes that you can explore, and it's just a really nice like way like a different way to do like a delivery game. I thought it was really fun
Yeah. So
and super
I didn't
cute.
play that one because you did. So I watched you play, and I was like, ah, perfect. Now I can scratch it off the list because I saw you play it, and I was like, this is so cute.
It's so cute, and it's like Ghibli vibes too, and it's the same creators as Minami Lane.
Yes,
Which I don't know
yes.
if you played that one. Also wishlist that one, guys, because that one's super cute and it's super cheap. It's like underpriced, to be honest. It is a shorter game. And I think they mentioned that this might also be a shorter game, Milky Delivery. Which is fine because like we need short games to mix in between like the games that we spend 100 hours in or
Yes.
thousands.
Yes, yes, I do appreciate it. My thing is, I'm like, yeah, just just let me know it's a short game so that I can set my expectations and then we can go. Like, I
Hmm.
love it, and I'm glad it feels like that's a little bit on the rise again, because like people just making smaller games so that they can share these littler stories, little bite-sized stories, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. It was just so super wholesome, and I think Luna would wanna mention that one too, because I know she really liked Minami Lane as well. I was watching her play on stream.
Yeah, and the art style was also just super cute. It works. All right, so as Lava mentioned, Luna did have her honorable mention. She checked out a game called High Times, which sounds more like a game that I would play, but bear with me. Bear with me. Um, this is a game where like you basically work in a donut shop, but it's your donuts are enhanced with like mood enhancers. So it's like a therapy donut shop is how Luna
Wink.
described. Wink. You know, you make a
Cerebrum
good
enhancers.
point. Oh my god.
That one was for my community.
Yeah. That's for the ones in the know. But yeah, so you're working in this donut shop and it's kind of like a visual novel dating sim. Um and I think I watched Luna play it a little bit, and I think what ended up being really charming about it was that it, obviously with its name and with its theme, it didn't take itself too seriously, but it still did make like kind of interesting characters that you wanted to learn more about. And Luna's interactions with them were hilarious. Cause like it's like a small town, I think, so she's dated
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
was
the
watching a
people.
little bit of her stream and she was having so much fun playing it.
Yeah, and they seem to like put all of these just like silly little jokes in there. Like I think they had a character that looked
Yes.
kind of like Avril Lavigne, and then she
Mm-hmm.
would like sprinkle her song names in there.
Yup. uh,
So yeah, Luna really, really
love.
found that one charming, and obviously her theme is kind of donuts, so it really fit. But then it ended up being pretty good, and I'm a little bit pickier with my visual novels because there's so many of them. You have to be picky.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But I feel like this one kind of carves out its niche by being just by just not taking itself too seriously. And it also was voiced, which is a
Yeah, that
bonus
helps
for a
a
lot of
lot.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the art
It
style
was
is
very
again,
millennial.
yeah,
Yeah, it was very millennial humor. You can
very
see
much
Face
so.
Nook on screen right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That's how we were. That's how it
Mm-hmm.
was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a Luna's honorable mention. We just wanted to throw that in there because as we mentioned, she's currently melting. A little puddle of
Yeah.
Luna.
Oof. It's too hot.
Yeah. But I think I think we've done it. I think I've pulled off my first mostly solo Pixel Yaps.
Nailed it. First try. Let's go.
It started out really strong. I started struggling there in the middle. I'm really glad that you came on to help at the end because I needed a break.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I was excited to jump in here.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I know we didn't give you much notice in the future, because
Like 30 minutes.
this would be great to do in the future with more notice, and we can plan it out and stuff. But I really appreciate you jumping in and
Hmm, hmm.
helping me out here. Would you like to tell the people one more time who you are, what you're about?
Yeah. You can find me as LavaSlug pretty much everywhere. But mostly I'm on Twitch, Blue Sky, and TikTok, and LavaSlug VT for VTuber on YouTube. And then for character and email art commissions, you can find me on VGen and Ko-fi as LavaSlug. Yep.
Yep, and you'll often find her around my community as well, or me around her community. So check her out. You won't be disappointed. Thank you again so much, Lava, for being here.
Yeah.
And I have been your regular host, Cesire. I stream 5 days a week on weekdays at twitch.tv/it's a tree with 3 E's. I also multi-stream to YouTube. That's It's a Cesare on YouTube. And I'm Cesare on Blue Sky, so you can find me there. Um, and that's a yap. So we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much.
Pixels and yaps, pixels and yaps. We like pixels and computer games. Pixels and yaps, pixels and yaps. We're yapping about pixels and computer games. Pixels and Yaps.